These are the polytunnels. Tunnel 1, tunnel 2, both of them have got loads of chilies and tomatoes in, and the idea is, right, that we're going to grow the tomatoes up out of the way of the chilies, take off the lower leaves and the first crops, and then have the tomato plants right at the top. When you're growing tomatoes, a couple of things to know. There's two types. There's bush tomatoes, which are annuals. They produce all their flower in one go, and they're just bushes. And you get your crop all in one heavy yield right at one point in the summer. The perennial types are known as cordon tomatoes or indeterminate. You trade them to a cane. But what we do is a kind of a bit more of a professional approach, is use this cord or this old twine and then just tie it around the tomato plants at the base when they're quite young, like now. And then as the plants grow, I'll just put a little loop on there. You just spin them round that bit of twine and they effectively climb. Any side shoots, see these bits on there? Side shoots like that, little side growths, get in there. See that one there? I only want one main stem on these, so just get rid of them. They're always at the leaf joints as well. You can tell the side shoots because that's where they emerge from, just the top of the leaves. But here you can see the flowers. Now they're going to turn to fruit, and the flower stems rise between the leaves. Yeah, that's how you know they're there. An insect gets right in the centre of that flower. It's tiny. We don't have them here in the UK, but we can still get the plants pollinated by tapping them, because that shakes around the pollen inside the bloom and then the fruits form. Or you just have wind blowing through your polytunnel and that will do the same job. It's amazing how quick tomatoes grow in the summer. They put on those side shoots really quickly. I just wanted to show you these. These are the first tomatoes we planted and they were already getting away really well and they're quite lush. Come down this end. And here's a tray, see these ones here, of rather neglected tomatoes, okay? These were forgotten in the tray outside, got a bit on the dry side and they're looking quite sickly. I think they'll bounce back. And the reason I've planted them is because if you want good flavour from a tomato, you've got to be mean with it. When they're growing, yeah, sure, keep them watered, let them grow away, let them get really lush, and that's fine, until they start coming into production. The hungrier they are, the earlier you get your tomatoes and the better flavour they'll be. With a tomato plant, the only reason why it's producing fruit is to make something sweet enough for an animal to eat, steal it away, or a bird, and then drop that seed somewhere else. And so it's imperative for a plant to produce really sweet fruit. Now where times are tough, this fruit is always going to be sweeter. And off these plants you can see, even though they're the same age as these, a bit raggedy, but you've already got tomatoes. Now obviously there's a balance between getting good growth and health and plants that are in super early fruit, but it wants to be somewhere between that. To keep tomatoes healthy, you want to keep them in company, okay? It's got the calendulas here. They're bringing in hoverflies, those take away any aphids. That's always important. And you notice the doors on the polytunnels are open, so there's always a breeze. Now one other thing, when you water tomatoes, only ever water the roots. Try and keep it off the foliage. Now the reason why I'm covered in so much water is that I was doing exactly that, and the end of the hose came off in a rather embarrassing fashion. But that's the price to pay. It's better to be wet yourself than have wet tomato leaves, because wet tomato leaves make for fungi. You get fungus on your tomatoes, that's the end of your crop.